Hello and welcome back to Asia Now. My name's Alex, and in this video I'll tell you about the Philippines ranks #1 in the world for watching the most 18 plus content. Indian man robbed for over $1,000 by trans while other trans distracts him in the shower. Plus much more. Let's jump straight into our main story. But first, let's go ahead and take a look at the USD to peso exchange rate. It's been a while. $1 equal to 55.88 pesos. Here's our main story. So here's a look at the top 10 countries that watch the most 18 plus content. According to Insider Monkey, these nations top the charts for consuming the most adult videos, with the Philippines taking #1 spot. What do you think of that? Not a big surprise for me, because last year the Philippines came in at #1 as well. Plus, Filipinos spend the most time from any other country on their mobile devices. So, I mean, it kind of makes sense. They got a large population, but for like a majority religious Catholic country, it is a bit surprising for me. Let me know what you think of the other numbers of a lot of Muslim countries on there as well. I'm a bit surprised by a couple of them. Once again, these surveys, I'm not really sure if they're very accurate. People use VPNs. Who knows who's making these videos and who has access to all the data, but I think it's kind of cool to get a discussion going. Would you agree or disagree? If you had to pick yes or no, does the Philippines watch the most content related to people that are older doing older people things? Sex, I'm talking about. Speaking of that, on June 10th, an Indian tourist named Mr. Kayal reported to Pattaya police that he was robbed by two transgender individuals at a hotel on Soy Pattaya 10. He said he met them at a beach and brought them to his room. Really, bro? You met them and you brought them back? Who are you? Next Shah Rukh Khan? If you guys don't know who that is, it's like a very popular Indian actor, apparently handsome. Anyways, you didn't meet them and bring them, bro. You paid for the services. Let's be honest. You're acting like he's got a pickup game. Anyways, he said he met them at the beach and brought them to his room while one distracted him in the shower. Once again, I wonder what that means, distracted him in the shower. Was she helping with the plumbing? And the other allegedly stole 600 euros and 50,000 Indian rupees, worth over 40,000 baht. When confronted, both individuals fled the hotel and escaped in a waiting vehicle. Mr. Kayal immediately filed a police complaint. Authorities are investigating and searching for the suspects. I doubt they'll be found, but I could be wrong, because this is not the first time this has happened. Once again, do not bring random people into your room and have your valuables out. You can have other things out, but leave your money inside a safe or whatever. And yeah, just be honest with yourself. You're bringing somebody for certain purposes. They're obviously not someone that's anyways, there might be thieves as well. So just keep that in mind. If you're doing stuff like this, put your money where it cannot be seen or touched. Staying in Thailand, a British tourist who vanished during a last-minute trip to Thailand has been found alive on life support in a hospital. Ashton Jones, 29 years old, booked a trip to Bangkok and became separated from his pals as they explored the city on a night out. His family had no idea what had happened to him before he wound up in a hospital requiring emergency brain surgery. Ashton is now fighting for his life some 6,000 miles away from his home. His concerned grandmother, Beverly Walker, of South Wales, is now desperately trying to raise funds needed to pay for his medical care. She said her grandson traveled to Thailand with a long-term friend on May 30th and met with another pal after they touched down in Southeast Asian country. But just 5 days into the trip, Ashton's family were given the devastating news that he had vanished while the group was out partying. His friends spent several days searching for Ashton after he went missing from a nightclub they had been in Wales Online Resort. Ashton, who also suffered with epilepsy, was later found in the hospital. Ashton's treatment and cost to bring him home far exceeds the amount the family has in hand. Basically, they want money for over 50,000 euros to bring this man home. Once again, a very stark reminder to have travel insurance. Even if you think you're healthy, young, you never know what could happen. Just save an extra $100 or two and make sure you have peace of mind for yourself. If not for yourself, do it for your family, for your loved ones, and just the medical professionals that are taking care of you. You want to be covered at all times. I personally, my voice, why do my voice crack all the time? I think am I going into like the later stages of life? What is that called? Menopause? Men don't get that, do they? Anyhow, I have mine. I've been with them for like 3 or 4 years, but I'm not really sure if that's going to be suitable for everybody. Let's go back to the Philippines. On June 9th, Philippine police arrested a man in Taguig City for allegedly scamming aspiring ride-hailing drivers by posing as an agent for a transport network vehicle services company. He charged victims 15,000 pesos for fake permits, which were later deactivated, then demanded more than 35,000 pesos for reactivation. At least 28 victims have come forward with the total losses estimated between 1.5 million and 2.3 million. Police are investigating if he had accomplices inside the TNVS company, and a large-scale estafa fraud case will be filed. Officials reminded the public to be vigilant. Yeah, so ride-hailing, this is basically Grab, Move It, Food Panda, Maxim, Joyride, all those Lala Move, ride-hailing, also food delivery drivers. So it is lucrative, like if you're not doing anything, all you need is a motorcycle and an app, pick up some food, drop it off, you get tipped by all foreigners, I'm sure, at least 99% of them, or you just get $1 per delivery. You do 10 to 20 deliveries a day. That's a lot in the Philippines, right? So I can see why somebody tried to take advantage of that situation. Let's go on to our next story. And then my favorite place, NAIA, the Department of Transportation, Bureau of Immigration, and Manila International Airport Authority signed an agreement to improve passenger experience at NAIA by reducing immigration lines and delays. The initiative follows President Marcos Jr.'s directive to streamline airport services. The BI will provide 24/7 immigration services at NAIA and regularly update staff rosters. DOTR will fund overtime pay for additional BI officers using the immigration services, and MIAA will manage the disbursement of these funds following government rules. Overall, this partnership aims to ensure faster, safer, and more comfortable travel for OFWs, tourists, and local passengers. Of course, personally, I've never had many delays at NAIA, but I know a lot of people who have nightmarish experience of waiting a long time. And yeah, you should have 24/7 at immigration. That's when, planes can land at any hour of the day. So, I mean, the point is, good that all three groups came together, tried to improve the queues at NAIA. Have you had any lineup delays? One time, my biggest thing was just getting from one terminal to the other. Took a long time, a lot more than I expected. Even though I thought I planned enough time, I barely made my plane. So make sure if you're going between terminals, you give yourself enough time. I never thought I'd be talking about Northern Ireland, but here we go. In Northern Ireland, Filipino families were forced to flee their homes after 2 nights of riots, geared towards them, described by police as racist thuggery. Michael Sancio, a Filipino resident, recounted how masked men banged on windows and set their cars on fire. The attack followed tensions after 2 14-year-old boys, reportedly Romanian, were charged with serious sexual assault crimes, sparking local unrest. Though the masked men claimed they were not targeting Filipinos, many migrants feared for their safety. Some residents posted Filipino and British flags on their doors to avoid mistaken identity. Despite Northern Ireland's generally welcoming attitude towards migrants, recent events have tested the sentiment, echoing anti-immigrant unrest in the Republic of Ireland. Filipino residents now question whether it's safe to remain in Northern Ireland. I guess they're taking it out on anyone that does not look Irish. Let's go on to our next story. And then, starting July 1st, Kuwait will require foreign workers in the private sector to get exit permits from their employers before leaving the country. This move reinforces the kafala sponsorship system, which ties a worker's legal status to their employer, a system criticized by human rights groups for enabling abuse and limiting worker freedom. Authorities say a new rule is meant to balance the rights of workers and employers. Authorities say the new rules is meant to balance the rights of workers and employers and will be processed online. Similar restrictions exist in other Gulf states like Saudi Arabia. No? What are you doing? I don't like that. So if a worker goes, look, I understand employers need to protect themselves. It makes no sense to pay, do the application, bring somebody over to your country so they can work for you, and they just f off and do whatever they want and never come back. And you as an employer has responsibility now to go ahead and, report to the government, answer all those questions. However, as a worker, I would never give my passport to my employer because that happens often in some of these Gulf countries. The employer takes your passport and now you're basically stuck. And some even call this modern slavery, right? So it's not a good position you want to be in. You're basically at the mercy of your employer, and you better hope they don't abuse you financially, physically, mentally, emotionally, just make you work all hours of the day because now they got your passport. Yeah, I've always had this background noise about how bad that can be. I don't know any specific stories or any stats, but I'm sure it happens. So I'm against that. What do you guys think? Do you guys think that's normal, or do you accept it? Do you think it's the employer's right to hold on to your passport or at least give you an exit clearance? Because even in the Philippines, I find the exit clearance to be BS, to be honest, because you can get that weeks ahead. So it makes no sense for me to get an exit clearance for the BI to make sure I'm not any kind of wanted list. But then I can commit those crimes within the 2 weeks or 3 weeks or a month, 30 days before I exit, right? So what the hell is the point of that? Make no sense to me, but what do I know? I'm just a foreigner. But let's go on to something a bit more positive, feel-good moments. Unfortunately and surprisingly, we ran out of the feel-good moments, so I have this beautiful photo of a moon and Poseidon. Although not very Filipino, I thought it was pretty cool to bring history and astrology, is that what the skies are, together in this beautiful photo. In the world of AI, it ain't not bad to be looking at that gorgeous picture. Now it's time for a segment, Yesterday Today, where I talk about some of the most popular comments regarding a previous video. Yesterday's video was about the 15 buses racing on the street, as well as a vlogger who passed away from eating chicken bones that a subscriber offered to pay him 20,000 pesos to do so. And Cano in the Jungle says, vlogger has complete responsibility. Stupid is stupid. If I offered you to play Russian roulette and you died, you are an idiot. I don't hold the challenger responsible in any way. Jack says that bus company is dangerous. The LTO should have canceled their permit to operate. In 2014, one of their bus fell down deep ravine in Taluban, Bontoc Mountain province with 15 people dead and several injured. That's horrible. And Todd says, as an American living in the Philippines, I've never encountered anything like what I'm seeing on the road here. I'm not sure if it's lack of education, no regard for traffic laws, or just zero survival instincts. Many of the buses operate dangerously, but it's across the board. Scooter, car, and especially the van drivers. The lines on the road mean nothing. Driving into oncoming traffic is normal, and entering the highway from side street without looking is normal, especially scooters. Tricycles driving in the middle of two lanes are normal. Play stupid games, win stupid prizes. Absolutely. Everything you mentioned, I cannot disagree with any of that. I think it's a combination of everything you mentioned, plus more. That's it for today. Leave your comments down below regarding any of the stories I covered, anything you want to talk about. If you take the time to write it, I'll take the time to at least acknowledge your comment. Thanks for watching. See you tomorrow. Bye. Hiya!